Hello everyone, this is Pico Statement and we're back again, and here now we have another video for you, and this will be a review of Superman and Lois, the Season 2 premiere episode. Now there'll likely be spoilers within this review, so just beware when going into this overall video. You can check out my review of Season 1 within this channel, and I'll leave some links within the description. Just to quickly recap, I felt the show was a very strong, compelling Superman story with a Superman that actually felt like Superman. And this was so refreshing to see after going through the whole experience with the Zack Snyder DCEU version. Superman and Lois proved that Superman doesn't have to be dark, violent or deconstructive in order to relate to today's audiences. I thought Tyler Hoechlin ended up doing a very sterling job in really providing us with a far more heroic Superman that we could understand and get behind, and I also loved the chemistry that he had with Lois Lane, played by Elizabeth Tulloch. So just to quickly recap over Season 1, it did of course follow a Superman story where he was married to Lois, and they also had two teenagers in both Jonathan and Jordan, who, as well as having to deal with their own teen issues, they also had to cope with the knowledge that their father was indeed Superman. We also had the introduction of John Henry Irons as Steel, who came from an alternate future, initially wanting to kill Superman, who had destroyed that timeline, but eventually he became an ally, and at the end of the Season 1 finale, after helping Superman defeat Zod, we saw the arrival of John's daughter coming to this timeline, assuming that this version of Lois was indeed her mother. Now overall, I felt this was a solid, if not really spectacular, episode in terms of a premiere for the second season. This was an episode that really just wanted to ease its way back in and get us back to knowing all of these characters and what they had been up to following the events of Season 1. And it's very much what the story was, picking up 3 months after the events of the battle against Zod and the Kryptonians, where we saw basically the city of Smallville getting back to normal. We had those early scenes where we saw everybody selling the Superman merchandise, once again understanding that Superman is a true inspiration to the world. We had John's daughter Natalie having to adjust to her life within a different timeline, and we saw various contentions between both her and John. We saw Clark continue his role as the coach for the football team, and Jonathan was clearly struggling to still make an impression within the setup of the team. We saw some tensions between Clark and Lois, who clearly had issues throughout this episode, and later on we learned that the reason for those issues was to do with the emergence of Natalie within this current timeline. Even though she's not her daughter, Lois was very empathetic with Natalie coming into this world basically all alone. We had a very funny scene when Lois walks in on Jonathan and his new girlfriend Candice. Jordan was very excited on the return of Sarah, and he was clearly being over eager in terms of trying to connect with her again, so it wouldn't surprise me if we see some splitting up between the two later on throughout the season. We had a very cool sequence where we saw Superman rescuing a submarine underwater. Very good effects, very similar to what we saw within the Season 1 premiere. And this continued a narrative where we saw Superman very much come to odds with the new leader of the DoD, Commander Anderson. Commander Anderson is very unhappy that Superman is not willing to take far more of a patriotic approach in terms of serving America. Superman retorts his idea that stating that he's here to save the world, not just America alone. This was because Commander Anderson was very unhappy that Superman rescued the North Korean submarine and didn't tell America about it. During a climatic earthquake near the end of this episode, we learn that the DoD has been training people with special abilities in order to work for them in terms of helping people. This is very much their own group of super people, as they wear the iconic Superman symbol, with which Superman is not very happy about. So I'm very much sure that throughout the season we'll get ongoing tensions between both Superman and Commander Anderson as well. We also had another subplot where we see that Superman is clearly distressed by something. As he was using his powers, he was constantly impaired in terms of his senses. So again, we'll see how that plays out throughout the rest of the season. And I also have to say that the costume looked far better. They've had issues throughout the whole entire season in terms of the padding. As we all know, Tyler Hoechlin is far more of a slender build in comparison to Henry Cavill. So they were trying everything they could to try and make him more imposing physically, with mixed success, I would say, overall. But in terms of this season so far, you can clearly see that they've lessened the padding in terms of his shoulders, and they've put it far more in terms of his chest and his abdominals, and it just looks far more of a credible physique when we look in terms of his overall costume. And I also believe they've darkened the colours as well, so maybe they could just make them a bit lighter, just again give that brighter aesthetic as what we saw earlier on within Season 1 as well. So it's still a work in progress, but overall so far it looks a lot better. We then ended the episode where we saw from the ruins of the earthquake that there was something imposing lurking beneath the surface. Now, I've seen a lot of speculation online that perhaps this could be the emergence of Doomsday. I think it's too early to introduce something like Doomsday, particularly when you're just within your second season. So I very much doubt it's that, and I don't think they would pull that card yet. That was clearly the mistake that the DCEU made in introducing Doomsday with only its second movie. And if you remember from Smallville, we didn't see Doomsday until the 8th season, I believe. So I think it would be a big mistake to introduce him at this stage. So that was it really in terms of the overall episode. Like I said, nothing spectacular, but just a somber, more solid episode. It still looks like it's going to carry that same serious tone with lots of emotional weights and beats to it. Can it achieve the same standard that Stargirl did for its second season and actually be an improvement overall with the first season? But I'm still very enthusiastic about Superman and Lois in its second season. Hopefully it continues to build the momentum and form of the first season and still convince us that we can still have a great modern day Superman going ahead for many years to come. So those are my overall thoughts and feelings and review of the Superman and Lois premiere episode. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and as usual with this channel, if there are any particular standout episodes, I will do a review of those, and of course I'll provide a review for the season review itself when we come to the conclusion as well. Please also hit and like the subscription and notification buttons so I can provide you with more high quality content like this in the future. But that's it for now. Take care of yourselves, stay in safe distances, and I will see you very, very soon.